नमस्कार and a warm welcome to everyone. आप सबका स्वागत है मेरे टॉक शो पे डॉक्टर सुहानी के संग आर्ट्स और कल्चर का संगम। आज का दिन मेरे लिए बहुत 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 स्पेशल है पर्सनली बिकॉज इट्स माय anniversary today and I'm feeling totally elated because on this day we completed 25 years of togetherness and we are on our 26th year and my husband is absolutely the uh, everything of my life, and I always tell people whatever I am today, it's thanks to my husband Dr. Vivek Mendonsa. So I really hope and pray that we have all your prayers. In fact, I would request all of you all to say a prayer for both Vivek and me today. Well, getting on to our show. आज हमारे साथ जो जुड़ने वाली है our guest for today is an amazing young girl who I'm completely impressed with. हम जब भी कोई देश में जाते हैं, हर देश की अपनी अपनी भाषाएं होती है। अभी आप भारत देश में ही देख लो, कितनी भिन्न भिन्न भाषाएं हैं, राइट? पर जब आप फॉरेन जाते हो, ओवरसीज जाते हो, उनकी भाषाएं से कुछ कुछ शब्द सीखते हो तो आपको कितना अच्छा लगता है, राइट? बट ये जो हमारी आज की गेस्ट है, वेल टुडेज गेस्ट मानसी, she completely impressed me because the languages she chose to learn at a very tender age of 15. Yeah. So she chose to learn Mandarin, Japanese, and Spanish. What a lethal combination, isn't it? And the best part is, it's not only about conversation. It's not कि उन्हें सिर्फ बोलनी आती है ये भाषाएं. She knows how to speak. She knows how to read. She knows how to write. And the best part is, she is already a teacher who teaches these languages globally. I mean, salute her. She started at the age of 15. Within 3 years, she started teaching. And today, at the age of 20, she's a solopreneur. She's earning her own money. She's independent. At the same time, she's into the most amazing profession of teaching, of sharing and spreading knowledge. Isn't that wonderful? Well, I cannot wait to have her on my talk show. So let's welcome Mansi Adatiya with a warm round of applause, everybody. And here she comes.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much, Suhani ma'am, for giving such a wonderful introduction. Firstly, I'd like to wish you a very, very happy wedding anniversary. May you have many,
Thank
many,
you.
lovely years of togetherness. So, as she discussed, she already described about me. I'm a polyglot. I have mastered
Yeah.
3 foreign languages and 4 regional languages. So, today I'd like to discuss about my journey of learning foreign languages, how I started with it, how I went ahead, and not only one, but I excelled well in 3 foreign languages. So
Correct.
it all started with, just like it is with every other kid. When I completed my
Yeah.
10th grade, I was in a state of turmoil. It was not
Yeah. Well, I think we are having a bit of an internet issue, but that's something which is happening very frequently all the time because traffic itni बढ़ चुकी है internet के लिए, right? So we can't help it, right? But I'm sure Mansi is going to join us back again, and we are going to listen from her wonderful journey. And as she was telling you कि हाँ 15 साल की उम्र में ही उन्होंने शुरुआत की थी.
hello. Yeah.
Hi, we are here.
So,
You're back.
yeah. So, So today I'd like to discuss about how I started with my journey, how I went
Yes.
ahead with not only learning one language but three foreign languages. So it just started like with every other kid it is, once he or she completes her 10th grade, and then he's quite confused into what to choose, which stream to go ahead with. And me being not so, intelligent but a studious and a hardworking kid, I always wanted to go for, go science stream. I wanted to become a good maybe good engineer, or later on I wanted to become an IS officer. And I always, me being me, always wanted to learn complicated things. I never
Right.
settled for doing easy things. So that's how, I was in a state of complete confusion on how to
Right.
go ahead after my 10th grade. And everyone
Right.
supporting me. My father was, on the opposite side. He wanted me to, go for commerce, maybe because he
Right.
knew my capabilities. He knew how I was, and he being, an educator himself, he has
Right.
counseled more than thousands of students across the globe, and he was, a pioneer of sending students abroad for overseas
Right.
education. So, somehow he was the right person to guide me at that point of time. So, he was like, no matter what, choosing commerce will help you, you'll have vast, immense opportunities, be it HR, be it marketing, be it management, business, anything. You should go ahead with commerce. And that's how I got into the NM college, which is one of the most prestigious colleges of Mumbai. And then
Absolutely.
he he thank you, he wanted me to, he told me that why not go for learning a foreign language, because not
True.
only will it open doors, throughout the globe, but it will also make you culturally strong. It will help
Yes.
you get into the cultures of different countries. And that's how, it
Yes.
just started as a normal decision. It was just a I remember it was just a discussion with my father one night, and the next day he just enrolled for me in one of the good classes. He was like, because you were quite good with, you always want to learn complicated things. You shouldn't settle for
Right.
less. You should go ahead with learning
Right.
Mandarin. So that's how my
Right.
journey of learning Mandarin began. And
Right.
he kept on telling me that Mandarin, the demand for Mandarin, the scope for Mandarin has just begun. It will go on and on throughout, no matter
Right.
what. So that's how, he kept on motivating me. Others being, throughout completely different. Others were like, ये तो इतनी smart लड़की है, 92% आया है, इसको science लेना चाहिए, doctor बनाओ, engineer बनाओ, IS. And my father was like, no matter what, you should just
Right.
go according to your capabilities. You should, I know what you are, because I was quite
Right.
introvert in my school days. So he wanted me to
Yeah.
explore, he wanted me to
Yeah.
get that out of me, and by
Yeah.
learning a
Yeah.
language, I could have, I could speak to, uh, people, natives throughout the globe, and I could have
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
that introvertness out of
Yeah.
me. So that's
Yeah.
how, that's one of the best decisions I took to
Yeah.
start. I started learning Mandarin. And then after learning Mandarin, 2 years down the line, when I completed my 12th grade,
Yeah.
again, I won't boast, humbly, I scored quite good in my 12th grade as well. And then again, with happiness came a lot of confusion, what to do ahead,
Right.
how should
Right.
I, plan my career ahead. My father,
Right.
at that point of time, he again became a friend to me. He was like,
Right.
I already, by the time I was in my 12th grade, I completed 3 levels of Mandarin. And then post
Wow.
that, he guided me that there were very few people, who can speak both Mandarin and Japanese, especially
Right.
because the Asian countries are upcoming, because Asia is the next, and me being, I've been to Australia and New Zealand when I was a kid, I realized that, Asia has this new, it is spread throughout the globe. The Asian people are spread throughout the globe, no matter where I go. And
Absolutely.
these two
Absolutely. Yeah.
countries being a part of Asia,
Right.
and the biggest barrier that they face is language.
Language.
So
Yeah.
if I clear out that, no matter
Yeah.
what, every other door is open for me. So that's
Yeah.
how, I started learning Japanese. And because, there are Mandarin and Japanese is, it has a lot of similarities, not in the spoken
Right.
aspect, but in the written aspect. And that is what
Right.
kanjis are called. That's how,
Right.
it was not, I won't say it was easy for me, but maybe, it was easier for me because I was learning Mandarin. But,
Yeah.
you know, it went, kept on becoming more and more interesting for me, because
Right.
I
Right.
could relate
Right.
it in both the languages. When my
Right,
uh,
right,
teacher used to teach me in one language, I could relate it in the other language as well, because
right.
that's how I related it, and that's how it went. It
Yeah,
was wonderful. So,
right.
and then luckily, my professor was quite impressed by me, and then he gave me a chance to teach students, because to
Right.
teach young kids, he got that teacher out of me, that no matter
Yeah,
what, the more you teach, the more you'll improve in yourself, the more you become fluent, and the more you share your knowledge, it is always going to increase in you. So, and the teacher
correct.
has the best part, because I can't speak to the natives daily. By teaching myself, I was improving on me. So that's,
Right.
I was lucky to get that chance to teach these languages. I started teaching Mandarin when I was, just 17. So,
Wow.
and when I when I went honestly, when I went to the class, and I've almost taught in one of the major, a lot of institutes of Mumbai. So when I used to, and at that time, it was all offline, it was not online.
Yeah,
So when I used to
yeah,
go and stand in the class in front of the students, they used to count me as a student. They never thought, like, when it was the first class, they just thought
yeah.
I'm a student, like I'm one of them. And then after a
Right.
while, when all of them came, and then when I introduced myself, they were like quite shocked. That, oh, you are the teacher. You're gonna be my
Teacher.
teacher for the yeah. So it was, and that was kind of motivating for me. Instilled that confidence on me that no, I
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
it. If
Right,
people think of me of that, I should do it. I should prove them that
right.
yeah, at the age of 17. And honestly, I
True.
would thank all those people, or my support system, especially my parents,
Yes.
who've groomed me in such a way. You won't
Right,
believe, my mom is totally the opposite way. She's a calm
right.
person. She's a cooperative. She just keeps motivating me whatever I want to do. And my father, on
Yeah,
the other hand, he throws me into the world. He's like, you do it. I'm with you. No matter
yeah.
what, you have to do it. So that,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
two poles apart, completely, they're the
yeah,
best support system that I've got,
yeah.
which is,
A wonderful combination, though.
yeah, wonderful combination. Yeah, completely opposite. Yeah. So, and
Yeah,
you need that. The opposites attract,
yeah,
and that's how, it
yeah,
is the
yeah,
best upbringing that they've given me, touch wood. So,
yeah.
that's how I started learning Japanese. I started teaching Mandarin. And then, I used to go to these exhibitions, India China exhibitions, India Japan exhibitions, wherein there were
Yeah,
natives of
yeah.
these countries. I used to accompany them as a translator. And again, I used to face the same thing. How did you achieve so much at a young age? How are you so young? How will you accompany us? And I was like, and then at the end, when they saw the result, they were quite impressed with it.
Yeah,
So
totally, yeah.
all I would say is, it comes out of a lot of hard work. It comes with
Yeah.
a lot of perseverance. It comes out with a lot of dedication. You
Mm.
shouldn't just. It's like, honestly, I felt, I had a lot of disregard. Everyone like, इतना difficult है, कैसे पढ़ती है? But I never felt that, because I was enjoying that. How could
True,
you read
true,
this? How could you?
true.
I got books full of these. And people were like, how could you read this? How could you
This,
read that? And
yeah,
all of that. I was like, I
yeah,
enjoyed it. I never felt that difficulty level, maybe
yeah,
because I was enjoying doing it. So that's how it all started. And it went on, went on, went on.
yeah.
And then, I got opportunities to teach there's a community, a women empowerment community called as Sheroes, which is,
Right.
Delhi based. So
Yes.
at the age of 18, I trained almost 15 employees from Sheroes. So,
Wow, superb,
and
superb.
I've still been training them, and
Yeah.
the the motivation that I get, by training these. And honestly, I've never done any advertising, any marketing about my teaching, because
Yeah.
I've always got them by the word of mouth, by
Mouth, yeah.
references,
But
and
that's
because
the
I was a student.
best way
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
advertising. Word of mouth is
yeah.
the best way, Mansi.
Absolutely, and then I've got students from Dubai, I've got from Singapore, UK,
Wow.
US, throughout the globe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've trained students from all walks of life, from all stages, and I've trained students from
Excellent.
like 5 years to 60 years. So that
Super.
intro, that when I was totally a young introvert girl when I completed my 10th grade, and now
Yeah. And
when I've completed my bachelor's, I'm like completely different. I can talk to any challenge you throw on me. I'll not
yeah.
be that scared. I won't be nervous. I can face it.
Right.
So that
Right.
is.
Right.
And honestly, people who learn languages, especially these complicated languages, which has got this artist script.
Yes,
script
yes.
behind it. You know,
The
both
script is very, very hard. In fact,
very
to
hard.
write even for them, the
It's
Chinese
difficult.
themselves, the Japanese themselves,
So you
write
won't
it's
believe,
very
you
difficult.
won't believe, last week I'd been to this Japanese consulate. I was invited to the Japanese consulate by the Japanese consul
Wow,
general.
super.
Yeah, yeah. So he was telling me the same thing. He was asking me about my experience of learning Japanese, because the
Yeah,
Japanese kids themselves, when they're learning Japanese in their school, it is so
right.
difficult for them to
Difficult.
learn. Especially when they're surrounded by that Japanese background. Still, it is so difficult for them to learn.
Right,
So,
right.
he was asking me, how me being an Indian, a non-Japanese, kind,
Yeah,
not being a native, how did I excel well in
yeah,
this, and how did I
yeah.
start teaching it? So, it all comes out of a lot of hard work. You need a constant
Excellent.
support system around you. My
Yeah,
parents are my biggest support system.
yeah,
So, that's
yeah.
how and then honestly, after
Brilliant.
learning Mandarin and Japanese, Spanish was like peanuts for me, because firstly, because
Wow,
it had the
yeah,
same
I love the way you said that.
because it had the same script as English, which we've been
Yeah,
learning since we were. It had the same script as English, and after learning
right.
these two languages, the Spanish was like very easy for me, and it was.
Super.
Uh, I never required a proper tutor, or I never enrolled for
Okay,
some class to learn Spanish. It was just, it
right.
all came on my own. So by
Excellent.
watching movies and all.
But this is absolutely fantastic. Mansi, your journey from ni hao to hola, and it's
Konnichiwa.
yeah, and in between, of course, the Japanese. You
Konnichiwa,
can't miss
yes.
that. Yeah, you can't miss that out too. Correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's been great, and you have also received accolades for it. I mean, honors for your wonderful work that you have done, Mansi. You have received two awards. So tell us about that. How did it
Definitely.
feel? That when you got the Young Achievers Award, and how did it feel?
So honestly, when I was, I won't be, I was at a very young stage to receive such awards, and the
Yeah,
feeling that I got when I received them was very overwhelming. I won't boast, but it was very, it not only instilled that confidence in me that I can achieve wonders. It's a long,
yeah,
long way to go. It's not the end, but
yeah.
it kind of, I'm not that person, who gets very, done with when I receive some compliments, or awards, or appreciation. I believe that it's not just the end. I have to achieve much, much more ahead
Much
of it.
more. Yeah. In
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
I feel
So
that was your beginning. I feel,
yeah,
and yet
correct.
you have
Yeah,
a long,
absolutely.
a
Long way
wonderful
to go.
journey ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And when my
Yeah,
students, I won't talk about much about myself,
right,
but when my students saw it,
correct,
they were, and when they kept on saying, when they were like, "Ma'am, we want to become like you. I've got kids of 7 years, 8 years. Ma'am, we want to
right,
become
right,
like you. Ma'am, we
right,
want that,
right,
the same
right,
type of power of speaking different languages, speaking with the natives. We want that in you, like just like you." So that,
correct.
not the awards, but the people, like from my own students, that those those praising, those appreciation that I got,
Yeah,
that was even
yeah,
more
yeah.
motivating for me. So
Excellent, superb.
yeah, yeah.
And with that, you also won the second award, that is the Best Young Woman's Educator Award for
Yes,
teaching,
yes,
foreign language. That
yes.
was also
Okay.
so. I
So
mean,
thank
everyone
you.
who's watching us, please the chat, please kindly put on the chat. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations,
Thank
Mansi.
you so much. Thank you so, so much. So it all, achieving those awards was obviously a uh, limestone that I've achieved. But
Right.
my parents kept on telling me that this is just the start.
Start,
You
yeah.
have today you've been training across the globe, which is
Mm,
quite good. But you should instill that type of confidence. You should impart that of that type of training in your students, because the more you'll
right,
impart, that's, the more it'll be better. I have achieved this, a small thing, but to put that in
right.
others is my next step. That's what I'm
Superb,
working on.
superb.
So uh,
Yeah,
that's what, and honestly, having trained students from like different age groups,
yeah,
different walks of life, different countries, different, having, working with the natives, businessmen of these countries, it has built me up in such a way that now it's like, I want to have that in students who, I get so many queries from people who just completed their 10th, people who've just completed
yeah,
12, which
yeah,
language to choose. I'm like,
yeah.
whichever language you choose, you should go ahead
Right,
with it. You shouldn't stop in between.
correct,
Anything you
correct.
choose in your life, you should
Right,
keep on working hard,
superb.
because that's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that's what will help you achieve wonders.
And Mansi, you got into it at a very, very right time, because if you
Yeah,
see,
absolutely. Yes.
globalization, that's the world today. It's all about
Absolutely.
globalization,
I have this
Yeah,
slogan in my mind always. Think global,
yeah.
be global.
Yes,
I've always
absolutely.
believed, and with the
Yeah,
new concept of Shri Narendra Modi ji Atmanirbhar Bharat.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
I want, those people, the natives of different countries, to come to India. We should be able to
yeah.
speak to them in their language.
Their
When
language,
we speak to
yes,
them in their language, we bond well. We get to know about their products. We get to know, we
yes,
inform them about our products, and that bonding which
yes,
helps, that
yes,
bonding which
yes.
grows is immense. You won't believe, it's
Yeah,
immense.
it's
Yeah,
a different level of comfort. The comfort level
exactly.
completely
Yes,
changes
yes,
then, because they feel they found one of them there. As soon as you start
absolutely.
speaking
Yes,
their
it's
language.
just like हमें हमें कोई और कंट्री में जाके अगर हिंदी बोलने वाला मिल गया, the bonding
Yeah,
that we have is completely
right.
different. It's
But,
just like that.
yeah. So I really want to ask you a question. You learn three languages. You learn
Yes.
Mandarin, you learn Japanese, and then you learn Spanish. But which was the one which you found that okay, this is the absolutely it's mind-boggling one. It's really driving me crazy. Which is the one which you
Okay.
found?
So yours has a twist again. I started with
Yeah,
Mandarin and then I went to Japanese as I discussed. Okay, so
yeah,
Mandarin was like my favorite language. Like I whenever I had an option, I was to sit to study with different books around me. I used to pick up Mandarin because I was quite I was doing
right,
well in it. Touch wood, okay.
right,
But then Japanese was very challenging because
right.
it had different ways of saying the same language. The
Yes.
grammar was vast and all of that. So I used to always push myself away from learning Japanese. But then
Okay.
when I went. I wanted to remove that thing from me. I wanted to face that challenge. That no matter what, I have to speak to that's what my goal was. I have to
Right.
speak fluently with the natives. So I have to
Right.
push that challenge aside. So that's how
Correct.
I started watching Japanese movies. I got in touch with the natives of those countries through some family friends. And
Right.
internet is the best part. To get in touch
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
I got in touch with these people. And then when I made this thing that no matter what, 15 minutes I speak to the native of either China, either Spain, or any Spanish speaking country, and with Japan, like 15
Right.
minutes, no matter what, 10 to 15 minutes, I used to communicate with them. And
Right.
that's what made me fell in love with all these languages. It made me realize that I have to. The more I speak, the more I practice, the more I'll use them in my day to day life. I'll
Right. Right.
excel well in it, because unless you
Right.
don't use it in your day to day, you have to think in that language. Honestly, when I used to stand
Yes.
in front of my wardrobe, on what I have to
Yeah.
wear, we think
Huh.
in our mother tongue. I'm Gujarati. I used to think in Gujarati, then eventually
Yeah.
in English, and then I realized I think in these languages.
Right.
क्या
Right.
खाना
Right.
है मुझे? I'll think in Japanese. I'll think in Mandarin. I'll
Yeah.
think in
Yeah.
Spanish. So
Right.
that thought process helped me realize that no, I have to, learn on, improve on my vocab. I have to improve on my speaking. So,
Right.
my own experiences,
Mm.
and that's how I kept on growing every day in these fields.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
And
Mansi,
mm,
it has been said that the toughest language to, especially to speak, is Mandarin, and that's the challenge you overcame on the first go. Because you started off with Mandarin. So
so that's
the
how
yeah,
So that's what my father, he
Yeah.
kept he because he chose me. He imbibed me to take up a commerce background, and then he
Yeah.
asked me to learn he guided me to learn these foreign languages, but he kept that thing in me intact, that because I wanted to
Yeah.
learn challenging things, I should always go ahead with learning that most challenging language first, and then, as I told you, Spanish was like peanuts for me. I never
Yeah.
required a proper tutor for it, because
Yes. Yes.
after learning these languages, Spanish was like, I could do it on my own. In fact, I could even
Yeah.
teach after a year or so. I was able to teach that
Right.
language. And
Wow.
especially,
Wow.
I'm teaching Spanish to the natives of US. So, even though they have got locals around them speaking Spanish, they prefer to learn from, me. So that's,
Yeah. Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And
yeah,
Mandarin, being a language which, of course, it's one of the toughest language spoken, but I also believe that, to know the language, you need to know their culture also. And
absolutely.
and of course, and the thing is that it has got its own alphabets, Mandarin. So,
Honestly, Mandarin has no alphabet. Japanese,
yeah,
Spanish has got alphabets. Mandarin has no alphabets. So
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
mystery. Mandarin
No
has just
alphabet.
three
Yeah.
characters. Okay, and
Yes.
from one
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
there comes 100 other characters. So it's
Yeah.
just no alphabet, and that's what makes it even more difficult. Okay,
That's
so
what. That's
but
what.
honestly, you won't believe the people who have got this artist script. The who learn languages which has got this different script. Both of their brains start working with the left. Most of us have only one of our brains working, but when you
Yeah.
learn a language with these scripts, Korean, Japanese, Mandarin, or any
Yeah.
Arabic, any such language, both of your brains starts working. So it is observed that one brain is for your IQ and one brain is for your EQ, right?
Peaks.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so one brain uses it to recognize the character, and the
Right.
other brain, it gets the meaning of the character.
Meaning of the character.
So that's
Yeah.
how, I always, even to my students who come up to me with different queries, and, who confused onto what language to start with,
Yeah.
I keep
Mm.
guiding them, go with a
Yeah.
difficult language first, because then the
Yeah.
easier one will not be,
Yeah.
easier one will be more easy for you.
Is
You should
yeah. Yeah.
always
Yeah.
go
True.
for,
Right.
a different,
Right.
not only for languages, every aspect of life. You should always take up
Yeah.
your challenges, and,
True.
if you have
Yeah.
the dedication, especially for
Sure.
students, who
Yeah.
just complete their 10th, 12th, or in a state of turmoil on what to do ahead.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
always sit with their parents, sit with their mentors, with counselors, and they should take that decision, very
Yeah.
tactfully, with, considering their capabilities.
Sure, sure, sure. So, Mansi, now that you have learned these wonderful three languages, and you are right from your journey of learning the language to teaching the language globally, being an
Yeah.
educationist, you've become now, and
Mhm.
you've also become a professional. You're earning your own money. You've become independent, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
what is the next step? What are your future plans, Mansi? Tell us.
Okay. So that's the, as I told you, I have a long way to go. I've got huge plans. Hopefully, all those plans work out. So I'm planning to, pursue my master's in international business, and then,
Super.
be a mediator between two Asian countries, maybe for business, politics, all of it. I want to clear those
Super.
barriers, that language barrier, and not only, there are multiple people who are learning Mandarin, Japanese, clearing out the language barriers. But, I want to have a business background, because a
Right.
person does not only need a language background within it,
No, no.
within him or her.
Yeah.
They also need to have other skills, marketing, business,
True.
advertising, anything.
Yeah.
So
Everything. Yeah.
my next step is to, excel in maybe international business or international law or anything
Excellent.
as such.
Excellent.
So,
Super. Super, Mansi. We really wish you all our best wishes. But
thank you so much.
you were going to share some good news with us.
Yes. So till now, I've only worked as a tutor, tutoring
Yeah.
students across the globe, and I've accompanied natives as or translator, okay. But
Yeah, yeah,
now, from this week onwards, I have been working, I've got this new assignment of working with a MNC as a research analyst in Mandarin
right.
language. So that's, a completely
Wow.
new field for me. So, I'm very
Super.
much excited. I need everyone's blessings.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So, it's completely new field for me, not only because it's Mandarin is, it's again the same thing, but research analysis is like a new thing that I'll be learning. I hope,
Right.
it goes well as it has been. So that's, the
Yeah,
I'm
kudos
speechless.
to you. So,
Thank you.
getting on the lighter side, Mansi, I'm a completely Asian drama freak. So I watch a lot
Wow.
of
Wow. I'd love
Chinese
to teach you.
drama.
I'd love to teach you.
Yeah, I love to watch Japanese drama and Korean drama. Oh God,
That's
I'm completely
amazing.
crazy about
You know what? You don't need any tutor. Those
yeah,
videos, those dramas. It helps you,
yeah,
learn a few new words
yeah,
every day. The
yeah,
culture of
yeah.
those countries. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So that's how because you see so many of them, then
Yeah,
repetitively you realize that okay, yeah, hello is ni hao, thank
correct.
you is
Correct.
sheshe,
Yes, yes,
so
yes,
there's few
yes.
words you pick up, and so
Absolutely.
it's but
So
now we've got
there's so
Mansi
many
with
things.
us, so we are definitely going to learn. So
Ping me
Mansi, why don't we?
anytime.
Yeah, so why don't we have some fun on the show right now? Okay. So,
Definitely. Yeah.
since I'm so crazy about these Chinese serials that I watch, okay, so
Okay.
why don't you just teach me three words, which are very easy?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Sure, sure. So I won't teach you Ni Hao and Shesha because you already know them. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
teach you something else. Okay. So
yeah.
one and another good greeting, is goodbye, which we can use with our friends, relatives. Goodbye.
Nice. Yeah,
Goodbye is
goodbye.
called as Zai Qian. Zai Qian. Repeat
Saichian.
after. Correct. Zai
Yeah,
Qian. Zai Qian.
Saichian. Okay.
Correct. So next time, when you when you say goodbye to your friend, your family, you'll say Zai
Yeah,
Qian.
Saichian.
You have to,
Okay.
people who are fond of learning different
Yeah,
languages, they should,
yeah,
learn at least three new words, five new words every day, and they should use them with
right,
people around them. So even they learn.
right.
It's like, they should
Yeah.
spread that.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
thing. We can spread the chain of languages to
Of
everyone.
course. Of course.
Okay,
Okay.
second
So
word.
second one, because you already
Yeah,
know ni hao, and
yeah.
another word like, which is quite similar to it, how are you, is ni hao
Okay.
ma. So you just add ma to ni hao,
Oh, okay,
which
okay,
makes it a
that's
rhetorical question. Ni hao ma.
good. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. So it comes
Yes,
from within. So that's what I told you. The
yeah.
words, they come from within. Like one word
Right,
makes
right.
multiple words, and
Good.
multiple words make multiple sentences. So that's how it
Excellent.
is.
So,
So,
ni hao ma, how are you?
correct. Correct. Absolutely. And
Okay,
the last
so
one we can
so
learn is
Zai-chan and ni hao ma. Okay, two words
very good.
learned.
Yes.
Okay,
And the last
yeah.
one we can learn is say sorry. Sorry.
Yeah,
Because we are, greetings is all we start with. We can learn
yeah.
a new greeting. Sorry. Twei puchi. Twei
Okay.
puchi.
Sorry,
Twei.
can you say that?
Okay, I'll
Tway.
break it. Okay.
Yeah,
Twei.
yeah. Tway,
Twei. Pu.
tway, pu,
Pu.
chi,
Chi.
pu, chi. Okay, tway, pu,
Very
chi.
good.
Okay.
Fantastic. See? Twei puchi. Twei puchi. So next time
Tway,
you
pu,
watch,
chi.
you come across these words in your dramas,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
recall it that these have these meanings. You not need the subtitles.
Yeah. So now we are going to call on Mansi and we are going to take, a private lessons with her.
Definitely. I'd love to teach you these amazing questions.
So this was a wonderful session. Sheshe
Same here.
Mansi.
Shishini. Shishini.
I
Thank you
had a
so much for giving me an
wonderful,
opportunity
not
to
at
be
all.
with
It is
you. amazing.
Not at all. I think it was a wonderful time. At your age, what you have done, what you have, you such an inspiration, Mansi. Because
Thank
at a tender
you.
age of starting something, I always say that. We learn languages. Even I said it to you before, even when we were speaking.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah.
when we're traveling, we always try to pick up few words so that
Words.
we familiarize with the people
Absolutely.
out there, or you learn
Yeah,
it as
yeah.
a hobby. But where you
Correct.
learned it at a tender age of 15, and now you have continued it, you've made it into your profession, and you are
Absolutely.
absolutely independent, and now you have
So
such wonderful plans ahead. So we are very,
just
very extremely proud of you, Mansi.
thank you so much. So just to be, to brief about it, I've trained like more than 150 students across the globe for these languages. And apart from this, like not counting that, I've also been teaching in a school. Like I've been teaching from like first grade to 10th grade. I teach them Spanish. So,
Wow.
as I told you earlier, it's been an amazing, very flowering journey
Right,
till now. Like
right,
I'm just 20, right? So, it
right.
was just a very short journey. But I hope,
Yeah,
with the blessings of everyone,
yeah.
with this amazing support system that I have, I continue to, have the same
Definitely, I'm sure, and I'm
boost in my
sure
career.
5 years later, when we will call on Mansi and have another tete-a-tete with her, we'll have
Definitely.
learn from you. And I hope Mansi will say that yes, I will definitely come on your talk show then,
Oh,
however busy I
5 years
am.
is a very long time. Make it 2 years, make it 3 years, make it less. I want to come soon. Five
Lovely,
years is too
Mansi.
long.
Yeah, yeah. It's great. It was
Thank you
great
so
having you.
much.
And we see you being the really in the very near future doing so brilliantly for yourself. And
Thank you.
I really want to thank your parents, because your parents have been such. I always say you can never do anything in life without your parents' support, and
Definitely.
you have,
Totally agreed.
yeah, yeah, you have
Mhm.
continuously said that even when you were telling us
Yeah.
about your journey, that it was your
Yeah.
parents' support. So, of course, that's
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very much required. And
Thank you.
God bless you and wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you
We're
so
very,
much.
very proud
Thank you
of you
so
and
much.
really, really elated for what you're going to start tomorrow. From tomorrow
Yes. Yes. Yes.
is again a new chapter that you're going to start. So,
Yes.
really, really
Yes.
all the best, and
Thank you
many
so
more
much.
such things for you in the
Thank
future.
you. Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, not at all, not at all. So, as I always say on each and every of my talk show, all you people, I know we are going through the most toughest phase of our life. That's
Absolutely.
COVID-19 we are dealing with. But yet, I'd like to say that please kindly stay safe and please
Yes.
think positively. Just
Yes.
think positively,
It will
because
just a
this,
phase which will pass
yes,
soon. Yeah.
yeah, this too shall pass. That's right.
Yes.
This too shall pass.
Absolutely.
So let's be think positive, and let's be patient. And yes, another very important thing. And these times, there are a lot of times where things pull us down. Mentally, we get depressed, we get upset. Okay. Let's not let it affect us to that extent. Okay. Let's pick up the phone, call a friend, listen to music, do something that you enjoy, cook your favorite dish if you like cooking, eat your delicious chocolate if you want to eat, but just let it see to it that you motivate yourself to be in that positive spirit. Because I always say that if you look after your health, if you look after yourself, you can look after your family's health, right?
Absolutely.
So you be,
Absolutely.
yeah, and never keep anything bottled up within you. If something's worrying you, please be vocal about it, communicate, talk about it, and that's how you'll find the solution about it. So do that for yourself, and do that for your family members too, and always be there for people, because that one phone call can really make a
Change your
difference,
life.
which,
Yes.
yeah, it can change your life, and you will never know that. So do that,
Absolutely.
people, for yourselves and for everyone and your loved ones around you. And I shall always pray that everybody stays safe and stays healthy.
Very
Once again,
important. Yeah.
God bless you. Lots of love to you, Mansi, once
Thank
again.
you.
Thank
Same here. Same
you.
here. Thank you for
Sheshe.
having me. Yes, dear. Bye.
Bye bye. God bless everyone. Bye bye. Have a great evening ahead. Today is Sunday evening, and we shall see you soon again next week. Bye bye. God bless.